Welcome back. This is Sports First number one in sports. And I'm your host, Sabotage. Let's go ahead and get right into this short podcast or short cast, as y'all want to say or don't say. But we're gonna start it off with some NBA talk, and if we have a good amount of time left, which we probably should, since we're pretty much in the finals of the NBA, so it's just two teams left, and with the UFC we got 264, and then boxing we don't really have any big matches or any big fights for boxing wise this week, so I'm not gonna get too much into boxing. But we did have the Euros, and that's already at the finals. We had the Copa Americas, that's already in the finals also. But let's go ahead and start it off with the NBA. Last time we left off, there were still the Clippers Suns going on, which didn't go too well for Liam Clips, with majority of their players pretty much being injured, as in the Clippers players, as in, well, you already know Kawhi was out. Then Zubac got some type of injury. I forget if it was, well, it was during this series. He was starting to get a little bit more playing time. Out of nowhere, injury came up. Then then the one of the Morris brothers, Marcus, also got an injury. Well, he still played a good amount of minutes actually, but he was playing injured. Yeah, well, actually, in the last game he still put up 26, but still he was playing injured, so he wasn't like to his full potential. But yeah, pretty much Suns just came out and balled, and they really didn't have. They're actually one of the teams that was like really healthy throughout the whole process, through the whole season. So a little shout out to their their crew, their health and all that stuff, and the players just taking care of their bodies, I guess, and all that. Maybe that helps out also. But them, and I remember Utah Jazz, and those are like two of the best records. Plus, they didn't have any of those freak situations, as in freak accidents and all, where like somebody falling over somebody and like getting, like that LeBron injury we had. Forget which player that was, but yeah. Let's get past whatever I was just trying to get into. But pretty much they've have been having all the players, like the key players, as in Crowder, Bridges, Aiden, Booker, Paul. Well, actually, Paul did get a shoulder. Was it a shoulder? It was a shoulder injury, and he actually has. As you saw in last game, they were actually taping up both of his wrists, or was it the right wrist also? And then he got the left one messed up also. Um, Actually, oh yeah, there was one other player for the Suns, Abdel Nader, who was out for a long time. Actually, he was probably one of the main players, and actually they did lose Dario Saric, so getting a little bit ahead of myself. But yeah, they did end up losing it. But I think Saric actually started. No, he didn't start. But what's his name? Cam John. You still got Cam Johnson, Cam Payne, and pretty much what I was trying to get to is you still got your key players, so you don't really got too much to worry about compared to most teams that lost a lot of key players. As I just mentioned, the majority of the Clippers players, plus all their players, are kind of doing what they're supposed to, not compared to well, compared to the Clippers, like where Luke Kennard is supposed to be like balling out and he isn't balling out. Where I mean, Nicholas Batum, he did pretty decent. Patrick Beverly was here and there, and Reggie Jackson just pretty much like pretty much put himself up there as a pretty decent, well, actually pretty good NBA point guard. Because for a second he was actually about to be out of the NBA, as they brought it up a lot. But that's enough for the Clippers versus Sun series, because that series is already over. You ain't gotta worry about that no more. Since it only went to went 6 games, or yeah, 6 games pretty much. They ended up winning 4-2. Easily could have gone to that seventh game, but it didn't. So there you go. That's it for that Sun situation. Wait, did it go to 6 games? Yeah, yeah, it sure did. With the who was it? Atlanta Hawks versus there. Yep. See, there you go. Another injury situation where we had Ash tried to gang out for a little bit, but then again, Giannis was out too, and pretty much Chris Middleton took care of what was needed to be taken care of. And then you had Brooke Lopez showing up and Drew Holiday showing up. I mean, the only thing that, well, honestly, a lot of people didn't. I don't think anybody expected the Atlanta Hawks to actually get that far. To actually take the Bucks to a game 6, but they figured out a way and they got them to that game 6. And I mean, it didn't turn out so great, but still, they took them to that game 6. But as I said, Giannis wasn't really there for like 3 or 4 of the games, so you thought, or I thought, that the Hacks, the Atlanta Hacks, were actually gonna have a really good, or actually I was favoring them for a little bit, and then just with the Trey Young injury also, and it just kind of showed that they're kind of just that point area, the shooting guard, point guard area ain't so great when when I tried guy wasn't there. I guess it worked for a game. I think it was the first game when what's name old boy Trey was out. It actually worked, but then after that, it just kind of went downhill. She didn't really work with Lou Will. But that, I mean, the way they were playing throughout the whole year, they were playing with Trey, so you don't expect it to just be, all magic and all, and, just start working and all. Um, but there was some, what's his name, Kevin Herter. This guy like came and showed up in the series before this one, and then he just kind of fell off a little bit again. Like I said, he's one of those players that I feel like is kind of disappointing, but he's still young, so it's just like, you got a lot of experience in this one. And Cam Reddish, man, dude's a beast. If you didn't know, now you know. Former Duke Blue Devil, teammate of Zion Williamson. Any other player that didn't really do what they was supposed to do, not too much on the I mean, John Collins played pretty decent. Capella was out there, but Bogdanovich at times I feel like could have done a little bit more. Because they're in a way they're a 3-point shooting team. In a way, actually, I guess like 3 of the players that if they start, they have their correct starting lineup. Three of the main guys are shooters. As in Bo, Young, and Herter. But like I said, Herter ain't playing to the best of his abilities. Um, one thing is I really thought the Clippers were gonna find a way to get past the Suns, even though like it wasn't really that popular of that popular of a choice, choosing the Clippers over the Suns, because it's just Suns didn't really have injuries and they were just playing outstanding basketball either way. Even though a lot of teams they ended up facing was injured and all. But yeah, I don't know. I just decided to go with the Clippers, but hey, what you gonna do about that? None. Then I didn't expect I don't know. Well, in a way, I'm not shocked that the Bucks made it to Eastern Conference and to the finals, but I'm more shocked that the Hawks got that far. Even though I thought they were a really good team, I even said it that they were a good team. Just and it really works out that well. I'm like, whoa. I guess I saw all season that they were a pretty good team, and you could see it from during the regular season that the Bucks were good too. But you know, for like what three, 4 past seasons, they've just been really good in the regular season and just kind of tanked in the postseason. But postseason playoff and all, like as in last year, they lost to Miami in the first round, and but this year they came up and I'm pretty sure they sweep Miami and then did the rest of their job. But again, if the if Giannis wasn't, I mean Giannis, if Ben Simmons could have had a better free throw outing all around. Um, and Joel Embiid wasn't playing with a torn, I think it was something torn in his knee, and just other players all around. Just oh man, they blew that 24-point lead. I forgot all about that. Just a crazy playoffs though. But I just felt like 76ers could have pulled it off, and then if it was the 76ers versus the Bucks, I would have taken the 76ers over the Bucks because Giannis was at. But then again, different series, different scenario. Who knows? Maybe Middleton, because man, Middleton and Giannis played pretty well during the first beginning of that Bucks and the Bucks versus the Atlanta Hawks, where there was a game where I think Chris Middleton put up like 43 and Giannis had like 30 some. So it's like they're playing pretty well together. Then you also got two All NBA defensive players on the same team, as in Drew and Giannis Antetokounmpo. But to the series that's happening now, Giannis is technically, well, he's not injured, but I'm not sure if he was actually on a minutes restriction and all, but there was a couple times where he went out, but I don't know. As you might have seen that crazy block, that looks similar to LeBron's. He pretty much went all across. I think he blocked Mikal Bridge, but yeah, he didn't look injured there. But other than that, I mean, he still put up, he still got 17 freaking rebounds. I didn't even notice that he had 17 freaking rebounds, 4 assists, 20 points. That's not too bad. I mean, but, for Giannis, you expect the 30s range, in a playoff game, you expect him to at least get 20, maybe 9 more points and around, so usually probably around 30 or so. But Chris put up 29. I mean, Drew was kind of lacking a little bit, just a little bit, but he still got the 7 boards and 9 assists. You know what I'm saying? He still did not too bad. But Forbes, man, he's been, I don't know, ever since that game where he put up around like 12, 13, or I don't know how many threes he dropped in one game. After that, he was kind of bummed. He's been bummed, Mike. But again, he did only play 12 minutes, got 6 and 1, which ain't too great, but ain't too bad. But that's coming off the bench, so you don't expect it. Expect too much from him. Pat Connaughton actually got 28 minutes and only got 8 points. So if you compare it to him, he did pretty well. And compared to Jeff Teague's numbers, which was 3-1-1 with 10 minutes. I guess he did pretty well out of the majority of the bench players. Also, they lost DiVincenzo. Him and Drew were rotating, but I don't know. I feel like Drew is the better player, but DiVincenzo Italiano, he's pretty decent player. Could have used more of could have used this, experience for, if they want it or they don't want it, could have used the experience for just next year or so, or in years up and coming years. But I don't know, for some reason I want to go with the Bucks, but at the same time, uh, it just it's not. It just almost doesn't make sense to go against the Bucks, or go against the Suns because they're just, other than those wrist issues and all that, with CP, but still, he still dropped 32 points. Book dropped 27. Aiden dropped 22 with 19 boards, man. That's cray cray. Like farm hay. Mikael dropped the 14 1-1. That's not too broad, Then Jake Crowd put the 1 and 9, but he's more of defensive guy. He's one of them. Try to defend one of the best players on the opposite side. Which he usually does. He's I mean, like I say, he still got his 9 boards. Everybody else is kind of low in that area, so you needed somebody else other than Da to put up some or put up some numbers on that category. As in getting 9 rebounds. But oh yeah, Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson came in clutch with a couple of threes. Future star or start in the miking. Wait, was it Kaminsky who actually got injured, or was it Sarge? I think it was Sarge. It was one of the two. I forget. It was. I mean, they've both been getting decent numbers, but yeah. Other than that, for the NBA, we got a game actually technically today, even though the podcast was meant to be done the day before today. But yeah, we pretty much got another game coming up today. 7 p.m. But I'm most definitely gonna go with I don't want to go with I want to go with the Bucks. You know what? I guess I'm gonna go with the Bucks, even though they're not favored, or I don't know who would want to favor them. But I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Actually, the game's at 8. The Sunday one's at 7. Sunday, Saturday, we got all finals game, man. We got Euros, we got NBA finals, we got all over that. Well, sports all around the leagues and all. Gonna need to start making them videos since most of the sports gonna be done. But for the NBA, they're gonna be it. We're gonna do a little snippet of UFC and boxing, and I think that's gonna be it since this is the comeback, man. This is the comeback tour. Um, Boxing wise, man, boxing is just ain't the greatest thing right now, and everybody know that. Boxing is just it's not like UFC, to be honest. UFC's always got the top guys, facing off against each other, every other week. Even on their fight nights, those are like legit fights because it's the top guys. Everybody wants to get that title, but I mean, boxing is all boxing is all these other promotions and all that stuff. So like what you gonna do about it? It takes a while to get a fight, but hey, people, guess what? We are gonna get a fight. We're gonna get Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder three times, man. This is the third time these boys gonna go at it. We had the one time, then the Tyson Fury win, and now pretty much one of them can put the or what you call it in the coffin. I mean, if Deontay Wilder finds a way to win, there could probably be a fourth match. But see, this is the big problem with boxing is just it's always almost like a one-sided. It's like one-sided pretty much. It's the one side that's always favored and all. Like with like Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano. That's also going to be on July 17th next week. That should be a pretty decent fight, I guess. But it's all these. I mean, I can't even remember the last fight that like where unless it's like lower guys that are coming up, then I guess they're pretty decent fights. But a lot of those, like most of us don't even know those fighters because with all the amounts of divisions. And I mean, if you're like me, you're watching UFC and boxing. Sometimes you don't have the time, even though I try to make time. I guess I'll be having a lot more time since the NBA is over and all of soccer's about to be over. So all my time is going to be dedicated to boxing and UFC. But then again, I'm also going to be start doing making videos. So that should be fun. But yeah, Jamal Charlo versus Brian Castano. We're gonna also have that on the 17th, and then Tyson Fury did versus Deontay Wilder. If y'all remember, it was actually supposed to be Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, but that went out the window. Now we got well, I don't think it's actually been in. Oh, actually, the other fight that's pretty big, but that one's all the way into August. Earl Spence versus Pacquiao. Then we got David Benavidez. Those should be pretty decent fights, but I guess, but that's still those fights are almost a month and a half away. But even those, that fight as well. It's like even though oh boy, Manny Pacquiao did beat Keith Thurman, but that was actually like what 2 years ago or so. I don't know if I could see Earl Spence losing to Manny Pacquiao. Just how young he is, he's a power puncher. He's a pretty decent boxer as well. He's not just a power puncher, but against what was that fight against Mikey Garcia where he was saying that he was more boxing than just to show people that he can actually box and all that. But for the boxing scenes, that is going to be it. Let's get a little into UFC. Couple of decent fights. We got Gilbert Burns trying to come back. Trying to make a run for that. We'll try to get on a run. Maybe in the future get a title shot if he can get this run started. He had that fight against Usman back in was it February. He had in the TKO in the third round, but pretty much yeah, making his comeback. Usman's actually already fought I think 2 other times, and Burns is just getting back in the ring, which is kind of weird. You'd expect the other fighter probably to. Well, he did get the TKO, and again, you got to get him clearances and all that other good stuff. So in a way, I guess it makes sense. But against Stephen Thompson trying to make a run himself actually for the title. He's on a 2-fight run right now. But still, Thompson actually he was talking about how he deserves. He's probably gonna if he can get this win against Burns and probably get 1 or 2 more wins. But still, Usman would he's still talking about fighting Nick Diaz, not Nick actually, Nate Diaz or what's the other? Oh yeah, Connington or Covington, Kobe Covington, Donald Trump's favorite UFC fighter, as he calls Usman, Jusman or. I forget he's probably one of my I wouldn't say my favorite fighter, but he's just probably the funniest fighter in UFC. Just all the slander he'd be talking about other fighters it's just hilarious. Um, but yeah, Thompson he's had some pretty decent fights. He had the tie with Woodley. He had he's had some. I mean, he's what 16-4-1. He's had a couple of pretty decent. I think he's. Did he lose his last fight? No. He actually won it against Neil back in December, which was a long time ago, 2020, December 19th. He's actually beaten Vicente or Luca Vicente is actually going to be fighting US 265, which is going to be a pretty decent fight against Chiesa or Chiesa, yeah, Chiesa. He did have the TKO loss against Anthony Pettis, which if he would have gotten that one, that would have actually looked pretty good. Then he would have been on a what 3-4 fight. Well, he would have been on a 3 fight win streak, but he did get a decision loss against Darren Till, the man from across the pond. He does have the win against Masvidal, but lost against Woodley. But then he has the tie against Woodley also, so it's Thompson's kind of all over the place. But I don't know. He was saying that he deserves a foul out of Usman, but yeah, he can't lose again. If he wants if he wants a chance against old boy Usman, he most definitely has to get a win. Pretty much because if Burns starts getting on their streak, he could probably get a chance. And then the other fight, we already all know the biggest fight on their card is the main event. But Sean O'Malley versus Chris Moutinho. Forget who it was, but somebody pulled out of the Sean O'Malley fight. Sean O'Malley with only one loss, but he had a pretty decent knockout. What was it about, like in UFC 267? Forgetting all about that card, but yeah, Sean O'Malley, maybe future bantamweight champion, who knows? But he needs to get some names up there. Other than that fight, it's the McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. This one's going to be the number 3 fight right there. Pretty much this is almost number 1 contender match, even though this is the bigger money fight. Pretty much the winner is going to be facing Charles Oliveira, as Dana White said, Mr. Dana White did say that in an interview. And the other big news is that the Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis is going to be happening, which is wild because friggin' Francis Ngannou just won the title, and they're pretty much already making a vacant title. So, and I just don't know. There's some backlash to that. Because I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You just like out of nowhere, pretty much just take away the title from the dude. I mean, it's not taken away. He's technically still has a fight, a title. Dana White was saying that in a way it makes it a bigger fight because Derek Lewis has beat Francis Ngannou. It would be like if Cyril Gane would beat him, or if he would beat him. It'd be like you'd be beating him and getting the title. Re-getting the title, or just winning your title back. It's just there was some tweets where his manager was pretty much like saying, "Oh, we needed some time," but Dana White was saying, "Oh, we make fights and all this and all that," and it's just a whole bunch of jibber jabber. But yeah, I don't know. I was shocked when I thought somebody was like trying to troll me on or troll people on what you call it Twitter and all that stuff, and then I just kept seeing it. I'm like, holy crap! I'm like, I can't believe this is actually happening. Dudes just won it, and he's already gotten it taken away. Then there was the announcement of Nick Diaz versus Lolly, Robbie Lawler 2. That's gonna be co-main event UFC 266. Other news, I think that's going to be it for today. Went much longer than I always make it a little bit longer, even though I try to make my shorter. But as for all your sports news, Sabotage out.